started this lab. Quickly, I will take you to the step and we will perform this lab. It is very simple, not difficult. Probably you are just missing certain things. Okay. So we are going to use some APIs here. So first of all, let me just authenticate myself using the access key and secret key maybe. Okay. So that is required. I have to provide the access key ID and secret key ID. From where? In the details where I will get the show option. So in details and show. Okay, so this is my secret access key and the access key. Let me quickly copy it. I have already started the TC2 instance. So let me use the command AWS configure. Then comes my secret key. Region is US West 2 and default output format is JSON. Okay, so this step is completed. So I have authenticated myself. Fine. Then I'm going to create S3 bucket. But this time we are using the S3 API call. When you use this command to create S3 bucket, you also include the following. You have to specify the region in which you are going to create the bucket. And this is the constraint that we just want to create it in the US. This is just because of this lab constraint. Okay. Otherwise, in other environment, you will not be having this. But because this cloud formation which they have used, it is just for this region, we are going to strictly follow that. Fine. So what I will do, I will use this. And for this bucket name, I will use some different one with a random character. So let me just go there. And what I will do, I will change this bucket name. Okay, so S Dikshit 256. 256 is the bucket name which will get created in the US West 2. Sorry, one close bracket is there, so I have to remove that. Okay, now see my bucket got created with the name S Dikshit 256. Okay, bucket is done. This is the output we got. Now I'm going to create IAM user that has full access to S3. So you must have read this. I think it is just for Sophia, I guess. Okay, so you are just giving Sophia appropriate permission. So I'm not reading that project once again, but you just read it. Otherwise, it will not make much sense. Okay, so it is very relevant. It is relevant to that project. You are giving this permission to some person there. So let me use this one. Yes, it got created. Then you are going to give password as well. So the next command is this. I'm doing it quickly. You just find out where you are going wrong. Done. Then copy the account number in the console. Choose the account ID, sign out, sign into the console. Now you need to sign in with this IAM user, right? So I will use a little bit shortcut here. What I will do, I will just go to that AWS and I will go to identity and access management there. So in users, I can see this user which we have just created, AWS S3 user. And if I go to the security credentials, I can get the link, right? So using this console link, I can log in. But let me just check. Yes, I need to sign in to the console using this user. So what I will do, I will just copy this link, and to make it a little bit easy for me, I will not sign out from my current account. Instead, what I will do, I will use different browser. So I will use my Firefox here, and this is that new created user. Okay. So the name of the user, we know it is AWS S3 user, capital S3 user, AWS capital S3 user. And the password is there in the command as well. So if I go here, so this is the password we have given to that user. Okay. So this is the AWS S3 user to whom the user which we have just created. Fine. We have even created the profile for that user. Fine. Now we have already signed in with that user. Now we are just going to check whether, let me go to the S3 service. Okay, with this user, I will go to the S3 service. Okay, no permission for the S3 service. Error for access to this bucket. So what we are going to do, we are just going to give this command what permission the user has. So for that, I will go back to my EC2 instance connect, and I will give this. Okay, so these, what exactly this command is doing, we are just searching what are the policies there which are having the name S3 with it. And among that, we are just going to give S3 full access permission to this user, right? So we just want to find out the policy with the name S3 first. So I have just searched it. And now you can see I got output with the various options. So among this, we can see S3 full access. Okay, this is the S3 full access. This is read-only access. This is some other. We are interested in S3 full access. And we are especially interested in this policy ID. Okay, policy ARN, policy ID something. Let me go back. And now, to grant this AWS S3 user, because see, this user doesn't have permission, right? That Sophia user doesn't have permission. So we are going to give this permission to that user. So let me copy this command. We need to use the ARN there, policy ARN. So what I will do, I will simply copy it here, and I will first modify this command, and then I will copy and paste it. So AWS IAM attach user policy -- policy ARN, and now I have to replace this with the ARN. Okay, so what is that ARN? We have just found out. So it is this ARN for S3 full access. Let me copy. Let me modify my command first. Okay, see, this is the ARN of the policy, and this is the name of the policy. And we are giving this permission to which user? Our AWS S3 user, which is equivalent to the user Sophia. So now I will run this command. I will go here and I will paste. Now, yes, it has not given me any error. It means it is executed successfully. Let me check it. So what I will do, I will simply refresh this. I will just go back to S3. And now you can see that this user is not getting error. Rather, he is getting that bucket as well, which we have created earlier. Great. Now, proceeding further. Now, once this is done, okay. Okay, you implement the correct policy. The access portion of the bucket now has object can be public. Let me see whether it is showing me object can be public. Yes. I can't see object can be public. No, I think I missed something. We are doing correct. Okay. So I'm not getting that access as public anyway. Let us start. So right now we have done this. Now what we are going to do, we are going to extract the files that you need for this lab. And for that, I will use this command one by one. I will just go to that directory, sysops activity files. Yes, I went to that folder. In that, I will going to this command, which is a zip file, right? So we are just going to extract that here. Okay. And then we are going to go to this directory, which is static. So in this directory, they have kept all that files, which we are going to use for this static website hosting. Done. So we are here. Now, to confirm that the files were extracted correctly, run the ls command. So let me run the ls command as well. And now, as you can see, I can see the CSS file, images file, as well as index.html. So all those files were there in that tar file. Okay. And we have just extracted it. The images, index.html, as well as the CSS file. Okay. So all that got extracted. Okay. Now we are going to upload these files, which we have just extracted or downloaded on our EC2 instance. We are going to upload this to S3 bucket, but using CLI. Okay. So now I will use the command AWS S3 bucket name and let me copy it. We are just checking it first. Okay. So let me just run this command. I will just copy it here and I will modify. So here I will use the name of my bucket. We are creating static website with this command. Okay. We are enabling the static website hosting for this S3 bucket, and we are just mentioning the index document as index.html. Okay. So see, if you do it graphically, it takes a lot of steps, right? But with using a single command, you have enabled this website for static website hosting. Okay. The process helps ensure that the index.file file will be known as index document. Now we are going to upload the file, right? And for that, the command we are going to use copy command. We are going to replace everything appropriately. So here we are just going to upload the contents in that S3 bucket. You know, we usually upload index.html file we upload picture file as well. So this is the command. So I will just change this with my bucket name. And ACL. So I'm just removing the blockage. So this bucket will be accessible publicly using the ACL command. Okay, so instead of doing it graphically, we are making it public. Now this bucket will be public bucket, accessible over the internet. So if you understand every command and if you relate it with the graphical way with which we have done, it becomes easy. Okay.
Same error, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Same here. Okay. So there is a glitch in the lab then. Okay. Just hold on. I will find out. I think I found out the solution for this. Just hold on. Let me recall it. I did this lab successfully. So I think this thing is missing there. Actually, it is a glitch. Okay, there is a problem in the lab. Let me see now. Even after giving that command, okay, so it was not working. So I did it this way. Just hold on. Now let me try to run the same command. Okay. I'll do one thing. Let me see. I just not recalling. Did this lab successfully, and yes, the same error we faced. Just not recalling it. Okay, I think this is the problem. And see, you got it? What was the problem?
Yes.
See, the problem, there is a problem in the lab itself. Okay, the lab is having a problem, and the problem was that it was not allowing to go, to upload those objects. Okay, because it was not having the ACL enabled. That was the error we were getting, right? ACL was not enabled. And what I did now, I went to this permission here, and then object ownership. Not object ownership, access control list, edited it. Okay, so just hold on. Again, I'm missing the same thing. So what I did, I went to permission, and I went to, yes, this one only. I edited it. It was disabled. Okay, object ownership, it was disabled. I have just enabled it. And after I enabled it, then keeping the default option, okay, I use the same thing. And then my upload was successful. Will it be possible for you, or you want me to show the entire lab?
I will do it, ma'am, from your
Okay. See, it is again, you will going to get error somewhere. But if you do it properly now, okay, it will work. It is very interesting lab. इसमें क्या हो रहा है कि the requirement is from the client is that अभी तो ठीक है, static website run होगा, everything will work very perfectly. But उनका बाद में एक requirement है कि वो जैसे images change करने वाले हैं. Okay, the images. So see, right now we have uploaded lots of images here. लेकिन it is the restaurant's website. ये हमेशा ये ही images नहीं रहने वाली है. The images might change. To just make the changes, what they did here, they just changed the color. They have created a script. Do it very carefully. It is very interesting one. Not only interesting, useful. So how they changed that? Using this vi update website.ssh. They have already created a script. Okay, and in the script you are having that index.html file. Then how you are not going to use the copy command later on, and instead you are going to see, these are the changes you are going to make. Later on, you are going to make the changes in the color. Okay, you are going to update that script, and then there will be a challenge for you. Okay, try to do that. If it doesn't work for you, let me know tomorrow. Okay, I will do this for you. Okay, but try to do this. Fine. I think your problem is solved, right? So
Yes, ma'am.
now you are able to do that one. Yes, fine. Okay. So let us start for today's session then. Anybody having any problem before I start with the today's session? Okay. Let us do it quickly. Okay. So now I will start with this. Yeah. Lucky. I'll show you clearly. So the setup is ready. It will not take much time. What I will do, I will go to my Oregon region. I will go to VPC service. See, I will use the same setup. I'm already having two VPCs created, Pune VPC, Delhi VPC, having different cider. This is very important. If the ciders are overlapping, peering cannot be established. Okay, I will quickly see whether I have done something else with this, which will prevent me from doing that lab successfully. Okay, I just want to check the configuration quickly. Instead of creating a new VPC, I will use the same VPC. It will save my time. So here, if I go to Pune VPC and the subnet, you can see Pune public subnet and Pune private subnet are there. If I just go to the root table for public subnet, I can see, yes, it is perfect. 192.168.0.0/local and 0.0 is going to internet gate. And for private subnet, it is, this connection is already there. So what I will do, I will first delete this peering connection. Okay. So how I'm going to delete the peering connection? I will simply go to the peering connection. It is that day's peering connection which we created. So I will delete it and I will create it once again. So for that, let me go to, I miss this always, peering connection. Let me go to action and let me delete peering connection. Even I'm going to delete the root table entries as well. Okay, so that we will start from scratch. Okay, so I have deleted that. If I just go to that subnet once again and Pune private subnet, root table, now I can see there is no root. Okay, that peering root is gone now. I cannot see that peering. Perfect. It is done for Pune VPC. So Pune VPC is just the default one. Okay, there is nothing there. Even the root tables we have seen, everything we have seen. Internet gateway is there and internet gateway is also attached. Similarly, I will check my Delhi VPC. So let me go to the Delhi VPC. Again, subnet. So there are two subnet, public as well as private. Let me go to the public first. And if I go to root table, yes, as expected, it is like that. And if I go to the private and the root table, I'm getting this. This is not peering connection, right? This is the VPC endpoint connection. I don't want it. So what I will do, I will just go to the root table. You remember that day we performed this lab as well. So the Delhi private subnet root table, root and edit root. And I will just remove this VPC endpoint. Okay, let me go to that service. Okay, I'm not able to delete it directly from here. So what I will do, I will go to endpoint. This is my gateway endpoint that we created that day. Action and delete VPC endpoint. Okay. So I don't want any extra service there which is going to interrupt my output. So it is also deleted. Okay. Now if I go to that VPC once again, and if I go to Delhi VPC, subnet, and my private subnet, root table, okay, it is still there, but it will take a little bit time, but it will no more be there because I have already deleted that endpoint. So soon it should not show me that. It is gone. Okay. So perfect. Now these are as expected the default one. So there is nothing over here which is going to impact my lab. So this is Pune VPC and this is Delhi VPC. Both are having one public and one private subnet. Okay. One public, one private subnet. And now what I will do, I will create two instances here. Okay. Otherwise, I will not be able to show you that there is the internet connection here. Okay. So what I will do, I will first establish the SSH connection here. Using the key forwarding feature, I will connect to this and then I will show you how to establish this connectivity peering. And then for my verification, I will show you the ping command. Okay. I will show you the ping command. Okay. So now let me quickly go to the EC2 dashboard and create those instances. If at all you are not getting something, please let me know. I will explain. I guess I'm having those instances. Okay. No need to create it. So see, this is running Delhi VPC public subnet. What I will do, I will just start this one. Pune VPC private subnet, it is there. So Delhi VPC private subnet instance again. Let me start it. See, in Delhi VPC, there are public as well as private. But in Pune VPC, we just created private subnet. So let me just reverse it so that it will be easy for you to identify what we are doing. So Delhi is our own VPC, right? Delhi is our own VPC. And in that, there is one instance here, one instance here. Pune is some other VPC and there is just one EC2 instance here. So I want to access this instance from Delhi VPC's private subnet instance. Okay. And for that, I will create the peering connection. So first of all, I will show you there is no access. Okay. So how I'm going to get connected to this? I will first connect it to this and this. Okay. So let me do that. So Delhi VPC public subnet instance. Delhi VPC public instance. Let me just connect it. Okay. So I have connected to that instance. Now what I will do, I will use my putty because I'm going to use the key forwarding feature, right? So for that, I will go to putty first. Pageant. I will add that key here. So as usual, I have used this key. Okay, so this key is added here. Let me close it. Now I will go to putty and first I will connect to the public instance. First I will connect to this instance. So there is nothing special is required, right? So I have added that key just to connect to this instance. Fine. So now I will just use the public IP address of that instance first. So if I go here, Delhi VPC public instance, let me copy the public IP address and let me paste it here. Okay. So I will simply use the key forwarding feature because anyway, in my case, I'm just using same key. So allow agent forwarding feature. And that agent, pageant is already having that key. Okay. Yes. So it is EC2 dash user. So I got connected to the first instance, which is in public subnet. And if I just use ping www.google.com here, yes, internet connection is there because it is connected to the internet gateway as well. So this is done. Now from this instance, I am going to connect to private instance. So for that, I will use the command SSH EC2 dash, sorry, EC2 dash user at the rate private IP address of that instance. Which instance? Delhi VPC private subnet instance. it doesn't have public IP address. So this is the private IP address. Okay. And see, I got connected. So this is the Bastion host or the agent forwarding. So this is my Bastion host or jump host. So using this, I have connected to this. Okay. Now let me see whether I am having internet connection. So no, and internet connection is not required as well. VPC peering does not require internet connection. हमें internet connection की जरूरत है ही नहीं यहाँ. Okay, so without internet connection, ये VPC peering जो है ये Amazon का own private network है, जिसमें इसके प्राइवेट आईपी एड्रेस से इसके प्राइवेट आईपी एड्रेस तक कम्युनिकेशन होता है. वी आर नॉट यूजिंग एनी पब्लिक आईपी एड्रेस, बट जस्ट टू शो यू दैट दिस इंस्टेंस डज नॉट हैव इंटरनेट कनेक्शन, आई विल यूज द कमांड पिंग www.google.com. I should not get any response. Perfect. Now what I will do, I will try to communicate with that instance. Which instance? Pune private instance. And what is the IP address of that instance? It is 192.168.2.114. So if I just ping with that instance, ping, and this one, I will not get any response. Why? Because these are completely isolated. इनका एक दूसरे के साथ कुछ कनेक्शन है ही नहीं. VPCs by default isolated होते हैं. एक VPC दूसरे VPC के साथ बिल्कुल connected नहीं होता है. Now I will establish that VPC peering. And VPC peering बनाने के बाद हमें root table में changes करने पड़ते हैं. Okay? Root table. So first we will establish that connection. So for that I will go to a peering connection. So if you just scroll here, you will see the peering connection. Okay, let me go to VPC, and here you will see peering connection. So the one which was already there, I have deleted it, right? So create peering connection. So let me name it. Let us say it is New Delhi, Pune peering connection. For which VPC now we have to mention the requester VPC. So what we have decided, Delhi is the requester and Pune will be the acceptor. So it is asking me who is the requester. So requester is Delhi. This is the sider of Delhi. Now who is the, with whom we want to peer? Which VPC? Whether that VPC is in your account or another account. Yes, it is in my account. In which region? Again, it is in the same region. Otherwise, I would have selected this. And then I will select Pune VPC. Okay. And that's all. Now let me click the create. Now, unless and until Pune VPC accepts that connection, I will see this pending. Okay. I will see this pending because now both the VPCs belong to my account and my region. I will simply go there. I will go to action. Sorry, I need to go to Pune VPC. Okay. So let me go to Pune VPC. I'll go to action. I need to go to peering connection. Action and accept request. Okay, so Pune has accepted the request from Delhi. Now you can see it is active. And now last step is I am going to modify the root table entry in both this subnet. Okay. So either we can do it for the entire VPC or you can do it for the single subnet. अगर पूरे VPC के लिए करते हैं तो ये भी instance ये instance के साथ communicate करते हैं. Okay. But if आप सिर्फ एक subnet के लिए करते हैं, then only instances in the private subnet will be able to communicate. It totally depends what you want. So what I will do, I will go to my root table. First, I will go to Delhi VPC's root table maybe. So one by one, step by step karte hain. So first of all, let me go to my Delhi VPC and I will go to the Delhi private subnet, root, edit root. So I will add root. But this root is for which VPC? 192 168.0.0/16. Sorry, it is not getting. This is the destination VPC. And what you want? We want to create the peering connection. Which peering connection? New Delhi Pune peering connection and save changes. Similarly, I will go to my Pune VPC. And in Pune VPC, I will again go to subnet, Pune private subnet, route table, Pune VPC private subnet route table, route and edit route. So single route is there because it is a private subnet, add route. So this time it is 10.0.0.0/16. This is the CIDR for Delhi VPC. Again, peering connection. This peering connection and save changes. So once this is done, we have established the connectivity. We have created the peering connection. We have even modified the route tables as well, right? So peering connection is established 1-to-1 and even the route table entry is now showing up the peering connection. So this is done. Now let us check. Now if I go here, let me establish that connection. There is some problem. And this is the private IP address of the private instance of Delhi. So now if I ping with private IP address of this instance. Initially it was not giving me any reply. But see, now it is giving me reply. Is it clear, Lucky, what I did? Now I am getting the reply. Make sure the security group has the port ICMP open. Otherwise, फिर से आपको error आता है. Okay? The security group must have ICMP port open. That you have to take care. Is it clear now? No reply. Okay, folks, so this is what my VPC peering. I have demonstrated it once again. Okay, you try it और अगर फिर से नहीं आता है तो आपका स्क्रीन शेयर करो. I will tell you where are you going wrong. Okay? Fine. Okay, so let us start for today's topic. If you are having any question before I start, please let me know. it's not entirely that I cannot show you the demonstration, but it needs lots of setup. Okay, first try to understand the concept. You will yourself understand that it is difficult for me to demonstrate. Okay, now as we know, this is the hybrid solution. And when we say it is a hybrid solution, it means it has something to do with on-premises as well as cloud. Okay, now this storage gateway, which we are going to see now, it is an interface. Okay, it is an interface which is going to help me to transfer the data from my on-premises to the AWS. And in AWS, the destination can be S3, the destination can be Glacier, or even it can be the EBS snapshot as well. Okay, EBS snapshot. I can put the data in the S3, I can put the data in the Glacier, or I can create the EBS snapshot, which ultimately gets stored in the S3 bucket only. Okay. So these are the destination services जहां हमारा on premises का data जाने वाला है. Now the use case is that let us say आपके पास एक physical server है या और virtual server है whatever, and in that there is one application running. और ये application को आपका और ये application needs to store the data in the S3 bucket. Okay. Or the application needs to access the data from the S3 bucket. Now the application is on premises and data is in AWS. And yeah, it has to be the connectivity in between. ये means यहाँ या तो आपके पास VPN connection चाहिए, otherwise you must have the direct connect. So this has to be there, otherwise it will not happen, right? So it is logical. The connectivity must be established. Now what we do, we are going to use this service. Okay, storage gateway. Now this storage gateway service has two components. Okay, one component sits at AWS end, which is known as storage gateway. Okay, and one component sits at on-premises end, which is known as virtual appliance. Okay, it can be the virtual machine, it can be any virtual server in your on-premises. So अभी concept ये है कि ये दो connected रहने वाले. Okay, this virtual server, which is the, we can say it is a client maybe, not exactly the same word. Okay, but it is the storage gateway has two components. One component will be at AWS end and one component will be at on-premises end. लेकिन ये on-premises end वाला जो component है वो आपका normal virtual machine भी हो सकता है. Okay, now here ये application अभी क्या कर रहा है, data ये virtual machine पे डाल रहा है, and this virtual machine will store that data and then it will forward it to the storage gateway, and in turn that storage gateway depending on your destination, ये S3 में जाएगा, अगर आपने लाइफ साइकिल रूल लगाया है वो ग्लेशियर में जाएगा, अदरवाइज ये अगर if you want you can even create the, but we will see what exactly the situation है, but the overall concept is this. Okay, overall concept जो है वो ये है जहां आपका हाइब्रिड सॉल्यूशन है स्टोरेज के लिए. नाउ लेट अस सी इन डिटेल. अगर कॉन्सेप्ट समझ में आया है स्टोरेज गेटवे क्या करता है, नाउ लेट अस discuss it in detail. Okay, so now this storage gateway, we are going to talk about three types of this storage gateway. There are three types: storage gateway file interface, storage gateway volume interface, as well as storage gateway tap interface. Okay, so let us see. Okay, now what is storage gateway? It is a hybrid storage service that includes highly optimized data transfer with bandwidth management, automated network resilience, and efficient data transfer. It also offers a local cache for low latency on-premises access. अभी इसमें क्या होने वाला है कि ये जब डेटा ट्रांसफर होगा, सो जो ये एप्लीकेशन दोनों भी तरफ से कर रहे हैं, उन्हें डेटा ट्रांसफर भी करना है और उन्हें डेटा एक्सेस भी करना है. So if this application needs to access the data from the S3 bucket, okay, so उसको इंटरनेट क्रॉस करके वहां जाना पड़ेगा. So जो frequently access data है वो ये virtual appliance में कैश होता है, just like the edge location. Okay, so it does not need to go every now and then to the S3 service. जो frequently accessible data है वो कैश के थ्रू यहीं के ही यहीं एक्सेस किया जाएगा. ओके, सो it is going to provide local cache for low latency on-premises access to your most active data. So you will see storage gateway, a concept of storage gateway, and some other things related to it. Okay. Now, what is the use? You can use this for backup, right? मेरे एप्लीकेशन का और मेरे ऑन प्रीमाइसेस का बैकअप मैं डायरेक्टली S3 में डाल सकती हूँ synchronously, that is, and even archiving for long storage. That data or that backup can be used for my disaster recovery. Maybe I'm pushing that data to the cloud for some processing, and maybe I'm just moving that data to different tiering option and migration. So this totally depends. There are lots of use cases. Again, this storage gateway, just like we have seen earlier in the elastic file system, NFS protocol was there, right? So similarly, this storage gateway, it supports 3 types of protocol. NFS, it means it will be for Linux machines, SMB for Windows machines, as well as we can use iSCSI protocol. iSCSI, it stands for Small Computer System Interface, a very well-known protocol, okay? So it is the interface. It is the interface. Fine. So these 3 protocols are supported. Now let us see one by one. File gateway, volume gateway, as well as tab gateway. Applications connect to the service through virtual machine. It can be the virtual machine or it can be even the hardware gateway appliance. ये on premises की बात हो रही है. Okay, at your on premises it could be the virtual machine or it could be the hardware gateway appliance as well. Now storage gateway uses standard storage protocol. These are the well-known storage protocol which we use. Okay, so those are NFS, SMB, as well as iSCSI. The gateway connects to AWS services. Yes, we have seen this. जो गेटवे कंपोनेंट AWS के साइड में है, that gateway is going to connect to these storage services, Amazon S3, Glacier, as well as EBS. The storage gateway provides storage on AWS for. Now this storage will be for storing your files directly from on-premises to AWS. But now those files will get converted into object when they are going to get stored in the S3 bucket. You can use your volumes. Those volumes will get converted into EBS snapshots when they are going to get pushed in the cloud. Even you can back up your virtual tapes in S3 or maybe Glacier. Okay, so these are the concepts. So storage gateway simplifies on-premises adoption of storage. The 3 interface types are file, volume, which is also known as block, and tape. Let us discuss one by one. Now, storage gateway offers 3 types of solution: file gateway, volume gateway, as well as tape gateway. Now, what is the purpose of file gateway? It provides cloud-backed file storage. Your file will get backed up in cloud. Volume gateway provides cloud-backed storage volumes. Your volumes will get backed up in cloud. And tape gateway provides cloud-backed virtual tape storage. Your data will get stored in form of virtual tape in cloud. Now, which services will be there in the cloud for storing this data? If you want to store your file from on-premises to AWS cloud, where they will get stored? In AWS side, it will be S3 or Glacier. Here again, if it is the volume, it will be, the destination will be S3 or EBS snapshot. And if it is tape gateway, which is usually used for archival storage, okay, backup, so it can be S3, Glacier, Glacier Deep Archive as well. Then which protocols are used? Now it totally depends which operating system is running on your on-premises. So it will use NFS as well as SMB for file. For volume, it uses iSCSI protocol, and for tape gateway again, it uses iSCSI protocol. Now on-premises deployment. All gateway solution deploy into on-premises environment as a virtual machine. Now, ये जो virtual machine आपके on-premises में run होगा, it can use the VMware ESXi. These are the hypervisors. So either you can use VMware ESXi if you know these are the type 1 hypervisors, Microsoft Hyper-V as well as Linux kernel-based virtual machines as well. So if you understand this, it becomes very easy to understand other concepts as well. Now this is how it works. See, now if you just look at the diagram properly, I am having 3 options here and I need to create 3 different gateways. As using a single gateway, I cannot transfer the file as well as I will say volume as well as the virtual tapes. So I need to create different gateways for that. If I have the requirement of all the 3, then I will be creating all the 3 gateways. So see, this is file gateway. And file gateway usually maintains local cache and it uses NFS SMB. Again, volume gateway again maintains the local cache. It uses iSCSI and it uses iSCSI virtual tape library, iSCSI VTL protocol. VTL stands for virtual tape library. Okay, so these are the 3. Even it supports the local cache. Now, this data will be encrypted in transit by default. Okay, so you get that advantage. SSL, HTTPS, TLS encryption will be there. Now, this is the AWS end. In AWS end, we are having this storage gateway service. Now, it is an endpoint, service endpoint option, internet, Amazon VPC, or maybe for the FIPS. We will see what these FIPS are. Okay, then these are the destination S3. If you wish, you can move that data to other storage class using the life cycle. S3 can be backed up and it can be even converted into the elastic block storage. This is for volume. And then we are having the libraries. Okay. So again, those can be archived in the Glacier or maybe the deep archive. For volume gateway, initially we will keep it in the S3. Okay. And in form of EBS snapshot. How storage gateway interfaces with AWS cloud. As we have seen, there is one component here at your on-premises and it uses the protocol. Now, this is for file gateway. Okay, so file gateway uses NFS or SMB. And this will be the encryption in transit and the destination will be S3 and you can use the lifecycle policy to store it in Glacier as well. For volume gateway, again, one virtual component here, it uses iSCSI. Initially, it will go to S3, but now you can convert it in the EBS snapshots. And finally, tape gateway again. So you can use virtual appliance here, iSCSI protocol. This is VTL protocol this time, iSCSI virtual tape library. Again, HTTPS, it is going to S3 and then it can be archived to the vault. Okay, so the Glacier, yesterday we have seen this concept. So we can use this vault as well. What are the use cases? Most of the time it is backup, disaster recovery, right? So that is the reason we are moving this. So move backups and archives to the cloud, reduce on-premises storage with cloud-backed file shares, provide on-premises application low latency access to the data using the cache. See, आपका data cloud में तो जा रहा है, लेकिन आपके application को अगर वो बार-बार चाहिए, तो we are also having the cache for the frequently accessed data, right? So we are getting advantage of that as well. So this is what your storage gateway is. So this concept is vast, okay, but they have explained it in very, I will say, high level overview. Even it can be demonstrated, but now you must have guessed. So अगर मुझे ये demonstrate करना है, so I will need this. But anyway, so the question now arises is, let us say सचमुच आपकी company ये solution use कर रही है, and there is some problem here. Okay, there is some problem here. One thing. Maybe another problem is this virtual appliance. See, अभी तो ये virtual machine है जो आपने बनाया है, right? So you have created that virtual machine. So it doesn't have any redundancy as such, जो हमें EC2 के लिए मिलता है. So what will happen if this EC2 instance goes down? Okay. So फिर ये situation को कैसे handle किया जाता है? So actually when I demonstrate this in my trainings, what shortcut I'm using, I'm using one of the EC2 instance here. The normal EC2 instance having that storage gateway application. Okay. But it should be the higher one. So there are lots of things to be done, but yes, it is possible. But the concept has to be very much clear. What exactly this S3 storage gateway is doing. If time permits, not today, okay, not today. But if we are within time after completing everything, I will definitely show you this demonstration. But I hope the concept is clear to you what exactly the storage gateways are. Now we will go for AWS transfer and other migration services. Okay. Transfer family and migration services. So here we are going to talk about, again, everything is theory here. Okay. No way to explain you practically. So just theoretical concepts has to be clear. So again, the thing is that we are migrating the data from on-premises to AWS only. Ultimately, the goal is same. We need to migrate the data from our on-premises to AWS or maybe vice versa. But now let us say you are having a problem with the bandwidth. Okay, आपका internet connection या you don't have the direct connection option because it is costly for you. And जो आप VPN और normal internet use कर रहे हैं उसका bandwidth limitation है and you need to transfer huge amount of data. Okay, so then what are the solutions you are going to have? See, AWS is given you all the option. It is up to you which option you are going to select. Now we are going to talk about lots of options today. We are going to talk about transfer family, SSH file transfer protocol, which is known as SFTP. What is the difference? It is using the SSH connection. On top of SSH, we are transferring the file. It is not just for the remote connection, but it is used to transfer the file. SSH FTP, known as SFTP. There is one more option. FTPS. Don't get confused. Lots of people think that it is the same. SFTP and FTPS. FTPS is just like HTTPS. We are having HTTP as well as HTTPS. What is the difference? As HTTPS is using the TSL SSL solution. Transport layer security, TLS SSL. So similarly, this FTPS is also using SSL connection. But this is SSH connection. Normal file transfer protocol, what are the disadvantages of FTP, merely using FTP? We are going to talk about data sync service, Snowball, as well as Snowball Edge. These are the services which we are going to elaborate. Everything is theory. So AWS transfer family is the aggregated name for all these services. So when we say AWS transfer family, SFTP, AWS transfer for FTPS, as well as normal FTP. Okay, so this is what and where that data is getting transferred basically, it is S3 service only. Ultimately, all that data is going to be put in the S3 bucket. I request you to read everything. I'm not going to read each and everything. We will make it a little bit faster because see, sometimes it becomes very difficult to concentrate if we are just going through the presentation and reading everything. It has to be done at certain point of time, but taking into consideration the time when we are delivering our training, if at all it is the morning time, it becomes very easy. But if it is the afternoon time, after the lunch break, I can understand your condition. Okay. So AWS transfers family supports the following protocol. And those are again the same as FTP, FTPS, as well as FTP. What FTP stands for? It is for File Transfer Protocol. SFTP, SSH File Transfer Protocol. FTPS, File Transfer Protocol over SSL. And it uses TLS, Transport Layer Security, Secure Socket Layer. So whenever you see that S, FTPS. Okay, it is the encryption, secure. Okay. Your data is going to get stored in the S3. Okay. So ultimately your data will get stored in the S3. Now these are the options. This is your on-premises maybe. Okay, this is your customer end. And then either you can have the appropriate permissions and everything to use this one. You can even optionally use the Route 53 service. And then you can use one of the services provided by AWS and you can put your data. So what is additional here? What is additional here? Additional here is that you can use integrate identity and access management as well as Route 53 along with this transfer family. Data sync. Now we have talked about the data transfer initially, right? Not data transfer, direct connect. Direct connect was the service. Now data sync is another service. It is an online data transfer service. See, direct connect was also the same one, but direct connect in itself was a dedicated connection. But data sync needs some internet connection. Okay, data sync will need some internet connection. DX was itself a connection, dedicated lease line. Yeah, it is the online data transfer service that simplifies, automates, and accelerates the moving of data between on-premises storage system and AWS storages. It moves the data between AWS storage services as well, from let us say S3 standard to Glacier as well. And it also provides you the encryption. It works well both for one-time data migration as well as recurring data migration as well. It can also be used for automated replication for backup and recovery process. Okay. It can copy data between NFS or SMB file servers, self-manage objects. It is a self-managed object storage. You can even put your data using Snow Cone, S3 bucket, Elastic file system, as well as FSX for Windows as well. So it can be integrated with this. Okay. It is efficient and fast. It is a managed service. It uses NFS protocol. It synchronizes between on-premises and AWS, and it can connect over the internet or even the direct connect. So see, or even on the direct connect, we can establish the data sync service. It can copy data between NFS or SMB. It is or to the self-managed object storage, that is S3 bucket, Snow Cone, EFS file system, as well as FSX. Use cases. So diagram, if you have the diagram, it becomes very easy to understand. See, now this is your on-premises storage. Again, using NFS and SMB, we need some data sync agent here on premises. Now that data sync agent will be installed on your virtual machine once again. And here you can see one more component, which is the AWS data sync service. So it is going to, these two needs the connection, and that connection can be established using either the internet or even the direct connect. Now you need to deploy the data sync agent on premises. Connect the agent to the file system or storage array. So now this agent needs to be connected to your file system maybe, or maybe some on-premises servers. You can select EFS or S3 as your storage and start moving your data. So at the destination end, you can either use S3 or EFS. It can be FSX as well if it is the Windows file system. Okay, so if you look at the diagram, you will be able to give most of the answers later on. Use cases. It is used for data migration, archiving data, data protection. If it is going to the cloud, maybe, okay, you are just keeping it for long duration and you are protecting it from unintentional deletion using object lock or whatever features. Data movement for timely in cloud processing. You want to process your data in cloud And that is the reason you want to move it quickly to the cloud. So data sync is one of the service for that. Snowball. Now this is the hardware. It is a service that provides secure rugged devices. You can bring this compute and this device known as Snowball. Okay, Snowball. It is a device which is capable of storing as well as processing your data. These devices will have memory as well as CPU. Storage. You can bring AWS computing and storage capacity to edge movements and transfer data in and out of AWS. Edge is the edge computing and data transfer device, usually kept at the edge location. Not edge location if you consider it from AWS perspective, but it could be some other location. For example, you are in a middle of the ocean in ship, maybe, okay, ship, where the internet connection is not that much available or something. So in that case also, you can use those Snowball edge devices where there is no internet connectivity as well. So local processing will happen there, and whenever there is an internet connectivity, your data can be transferred to the location. What is Snowball Edge? It is edge computing and data transfer device that is provided by Snowball service. It has onboard storage and compute power that provides select AWS services for use in edge location. Not all services are available, but yes, selected services. Snowball Edge comes in two options: optimized, storage optimized, as well as compute optimized. So what is your requirement? You just need it to store the data, or you want to store and process it as well. For example, ships. Okay. So I want to process it as well. Then I can use the storage as well as compute optimized. To support local data processing and connection in disconnected environments, such as ships, windmills, or remote factories. Then key data model concepts and use cases. Snowball. So as I told you, it is a device. See, this is the Snowball. This is a device, Snowball device. Now it has different capacity. 50 terabyte to 80 terabyte. A strong encryption. The data will be encrypted. If you use mobile, this is a truck, a big truck in which the data can be loaded. You just request AWS, it will send their truck. You just plug it to your storage, put all the data in that truck, and it can even be escorted end to end. Okay. It can be escorted with security guards so that nobody will, I will say, hijack your truck or something in between, because it is carrying very crucial data. So usko escort bhi kar sakte hai. These are the devices in which you can have the digital label. Even you can track it. आपका data कहाँ है, कहाँ से कहाँ पहुँचा है. The destination will be S3 bucket here. आपका data, you know, S3 bucket is capable of storing unlimited data. It can store petabyte scale of data. Petabyte or exabyte, there is no limitation, right? And these devices are going to put your data in S3 bucket beneath the scene. Okay, very interesting services, all these things. And these are very, I will say, tamper proof. So I have read somewhere that even if you throw it from the 10th storied building, maybe आपके data को कुछ नहीं होता है. ऐसा AWS ने कहा है. So those are such a sturdy devices. Even you can use the TPM platform, trusted platform module, to use the encryption or to store your security keys for that. Snowball data transfer. What are the use cases for Snowball? Some sensors or machines related data, data from remote location, media and entertainment contents or something. Data transfer and migration in AWS. You can use SFTP, which is the SSH over FTP connection, but it is just going to work on the internet. You can use data sync. Again, it can work on internet or maybe direct access and direct connect. And then we are having the Snowball family, which is the physical movement of your data from on premises. It doesn't require any internet connection. Snowball. Okay. So that's all. It was a little bit theory. Okay. So we have completed this. Now let me just take you to this challenge lab, S3 challenge lab. Let us see what is there in the challenge. Create S3 bucket, upload object in the S3 bucket, access the object by using web browser, and list the contents of the S3 bucket using CLI. Looks very simple. Why it is a challenge? Duration is 45 minutes. Will it be difficult? I don't think it will be difficult. Very simple. You just need to access the object publicly. Okay, we did it multiple times. The only thing is that you need to list the contents of the S3 bucket using AWS CLI. But again, that will not be a big challenge because you can find out the command as well. Okay, folks. So take it as a challenge. Perform it. Okay, although they have mentioned it 45 minutes, I don't think it will take 45 minutes. Okay, it will hardly be half 30 minutes, I will say 30 minutes or less than that. First, create the bucket. Upload object in the bucket. Make that bucket public. Even make the object public. And once it is public, access it using your browser. That's all. Try to perform it. Then there is a cafe activity as well. Now this always takes you to real world environment. Okay, let us see what it is. There must be some requirement from the customer end. Let us see what is their proposal this time. Sharing files with external partner. This is the need now. Okay. The cafe wants to share their files with some external partners. So use S3 service to share your files with the external partner. Fine. Faith is saying, you told me, Sophia, that your product catalog is expanding and that Frank hired an external media company to create a portfolio of picture of the new product. Sophia, yes, he would like to receive the picture from the media company. See, now the business is really growing up, right? Now they have, I will say, tie-up with the external media company as well. And that external media company is going to take photographs for this. Otherwise, initially, Frank was itself taking the photographs of the product, right? So now they are really growing big and they are having the other company with them. Okay. Now this media company is going to okay, he would like to receive the picture from the media company in one convenient and secure location. So probably they are just creating a bucket, and to this media company, they will be giving the access, and then this media company will be uploading their images in that location. He also want to be notified by email when picture was uploaded, so we can review and approve the photos before they are deployed on the cafe website. Fine. So see, अच्छे अच्छे photographs कौन निकाल रहा है? मीडिया कंपनी. और what automation they want, जैसे उन्होंने photos upload किए, these people, Sophia should get the notification कि image आ चुका है. Then she will verify it and then she will approve it कि ठीक है अभी ये website के ऊपर जाना चाहिए. Now Faith, because images are usually large files, storing them on S3 service or S3 is recommended solution. Let me tell you about the benefits of using the S3 for file sharing. Now, Faith is telling them, now this Faith is something which is TPM. We will talk about that TPM later on. Faith, discuss the S3 file sharing benefits. What are the benefits of putting your files in S3? Share access with other users, configure different levels of access. We can assign bucket policy, right? You can create event notification. You can store large amount of data in reliable, fast and redundant way. These are the advantages of storing your data in S3. Okay. Now, this is the activity working with S3. In this activity, you create and configure S3 bucket to share images between the cafe user, mom, pop cafe user. So maybe it's Sophia and external media company. The external user was hired to provide pictures of the product that the cafe sells. You also configure S3 bucket to generate an email notification for the cafe user. So again, it should be Sophia that they should get automatically alerted when the bucket contents are modified. Now, this diagram shows the component architecture of the S3 file sharing solution. It also illustrates its uses flow, which consists of the following. Okay, now see. The system operator, where is the system operator here? Okay, I guess he is the one. This is mom pop user. So this is the employee of the cafe, maybe the Sophia or some other person. Now this is the sysops user. I think this is the media co-user. Okay, so what he is doing now, who has created this account, maybe the system's sysops user. He has created this user account, given appropriate permission, and then he is eligible or he is having the permission to upload using the management console. He is uploading the picture in the bucket. As soon as the bucket has been loaded with the picture, it is going to send the notification using the SNS service, and that notification should be given to this user. So now this user will again go to the console, and this user will, I will say, download that file. This is what the scenario is. I hope it is simple. So this is the overview, and now let us see the actual lab steps for that, actual lab activity. Okay. In this lab, you create and configure S3 bucket to share images with external user at a media company who has been hired to provide pictures of the products that the cafe sells. You also configure the S3 bucket to automatically send an email. So we have seen this one, right? So all the things are here. Objective: at the end of this lab, you will be able to do the following. Use S3 API and S3 AWS CLI command to create and configure bucket. Verify write permissions to the user on S3 bucket. So see, especially that person, media core person must have the right permission, right? And configure event notification. Very simple, but it is taking 90 minutes. Okay. Okay. So try to perform this. If you are not able to do that, I'll always be there to help you. Okay. पहले आप करके देखो, आपको नहीं समझ में आता है कोई चीज, let me know. I will be there to help you. Okay, I have performed this lab. It is not that much difficult. And for me, it has not even taken 90 minutes. Okay. It is not at all the 90 minutes job. Hardly within half an hour, I was able to perform this. You go through this and let me know your experience. Okay. So now there is one more lab coming up here. Managing storage. I think the order is little bit changed here. I can't see any lab below that. Okay. So there is no lab here. So I think it must have been somewhere here. The order is, it is just displaced. Okay. Create EC2 instance, configure process. Okay. So see, they have just demonstrated what has to be done for the challenge lab. Okay. The challenge lab, which we have seen earlier, it is for this. It is just displayed here. Okay. It is something wrong over here. Fine. Now let us go for this KC 217 KC, everyone. Let us try this one and then we will have a break. Yes, number one, come on. Which solution provides temporary storage for EC2 instances? Temporary. Keyword is temporary here. Come on. Yes, it is instant store. Very good, Lucky. It is correct one. Which S3 object storage class should be used when the pattern of accessing the data is unknown or changing? That is the keyword. Pattern of accessing data is unknown or changing. Come on, give the answer. Yes, it is B this time. Very good. It is S3 intelligent tiering. Very good. Next, which EBS volume type provides highest performance for frequently read-write operation? आपको बहुत ज्यादा डेटा इनपुट और आउटपुट करना है, so that is frequent one. Yes, it has to be provisioned IOPS. Very good. General purpose is just suitable for the operation. Provision IOPS हम generally databases के लिए लेते हैं. Which storage solution can be attached to EC2 instance? इसमें से कौन सा है जो EC2 instance के साथ लगा सकते हैं? D. Very good. Only Lucky is giving me answer. What about others? Is nobody there? Yes, it is elastic block storage. How much time should it take to do a standard retrieval of data from Glacier? Standard retrieval. Okay. We have seen there are standard, bulk, as well as expedited retrieval. So what is the time interval for standard retrieval?
1 hour.
No, Lucky, this time you are wrong. It is standard.
3 to 5.
It is 5 to 12 hours. No, not 5 to 12 hours. It is 3 to 5 hours, right? 3 to 5 hours. Bulk will go for 5 to 12 hours. 1 to 5 is expedited. This is the expedited retrieval. This is the standard retrieval. And this is the bulk retrieval. Okay, so they were asking about standard retrieval. Very good. Okay, folks. So with this, what we will do now, I know it is a break time. So we will have a break and congratulations, we have completed our AWS Jumpstart. Okay. So Jumpstart topic has been completed by us. We have done everything on this Jumpstart. Labs are definitely there. You are going to do your labs and I will be here to help you. And now after the break, we will start with the advanced. Okay. It is hardly going to take you 2 days to complete this topic. Lots of theory is there. Let me tell you. Lots of theory is there. Some hands-on labs are definitely there. You are going to perform those labs. But from my side, lots of theory will be there. Okay. So we will be starting with CloudWatch. And again, it is not new to you, but we are going to go a little bit deeper in the CloudWatch now. Okay. So see you after 15 minutes. Okay. It is 4:45 almost. So see you after 15 minutes. And by the way, you must also be completing your attendance. Fine. Thank you. Hello everyone, please confirm. Are you there? Shall I start? Okay, just 3 people are there. Okay, let us start. And as we have decided, we are going to start with advanced topic today. Okay, although advanced, okay, we are not going in much detail of that. Okay, so we are just going to cover everything what has been given in the syllabus only. Okay, so we'll just cover the topics which are there in the syllabus. Don't miss these labs. These are very well designed labs, whatever labs you are going to have here. Okay, so they are exactly reflecting what you are going to do when you are going to work with the IT company, especially in AWS cloud. Okay, so what there you are supposed to do, all that task has been reflected over here in this lab. So don't miss any lab. Okay, so monitoring and security, again, not a new topic for us. We have already seen it earlier. So before I go for this, let us quickly go for my presentation at high level overview, and then we will come back here. Okay, so that you will have a good understanding, or it is just a revision, I will say. Monitoring and analytics. So 3 services, look carefully. These services, you can expect lots of question on these services on your Cloud Practitioner Essential exam, CloudWatch, CloudTrail, as well as Trusted Advisor. Now this example, the coffee shop example, the owner wants to run his business very efficiently. He wants to just improve everything, right? And if he wants some improvement, he need to monitor something, whether something is not going good. Okay, so for that we need to monitor. For example, he don't want customers to be waiting in a queue for a long time to get their orders served. Okay, because it is very irritating. You are just sitting in the restaurant and the restaurant is not serving you quickly. Okay, so our experience is very bad in that case. Our response is very bad in that case, rather. So we don't, the coffee shop owner do not want that. Second thing, he want to check the number of pastries remaining for sale. He do not want to say the customer, if they are asking for the pastries, he would not like to give the answer that all the pastries are finished or something. Okay, so this should not be the condition situation. So these two things he want to monitor. So merely monitoring is not going to do, right? So सिर्फ उसने देखा कि कितने पेस्ट्रीज बाकी है, 1 है, 2 है, 3 है, so सिर्फ देखने से कुछ नहीं होने वाला है. You should have something in relation to that. Now what he is doing, he is having some threshold. So if the customer wait time is more than 5 minutes, and if the number of pastries is less than 10, then he will initiate the action. And what is the action? If the long queue is there, he will have another register and he will ask another batch to process. I think we have taken this earlier as well, but just a quick revision as I told you. So this CloudWatch service, it is used to monitor your resources. First of all, it is the performance monitoring service in AWS. Okay, it is performance monitoring service in our AWS. It is used to monitor your AWS resources as well as your on-premises infrastructure as well, and access all your metrics from a single location. So in that case, we can create a dashboard. Okay, so if you create a dashboard, you can